Spain 2, France 0. La Roja booked their ticket for the 2026 FIFA World Cup final by beating the best offensive team of the tournament. Spain managed to keep Kylian Mbappé, Bradley Barcola, Michael Olise, and Ousmane Dembélé the Ballon d'Or quiet for 90 plus minutes, and they did it without struggle. Tonight, Luis De la Fuente and his team demonstrated that a collective and a team with a clear strategy will outshine and will beat a team with a lot of superstars in it. Any day, every day. Luis Enrique demonstrated that in the Champions League, and Mikel Arteta demonstrated that in the Premier League. We are in the era of collective, not the superstar. And now Spain is sitting there waiting for England or Spain. Hopefully it's England. We're going to try to do a deep dive analysis of the game. And we're going to try to talk about the two approaches both coach used, Didier Deschamps and Luis De La Fuente, and the tactical battle they showed us today. Because the game was super interesting to watch. It was interesting. The 1v1, Cucurella, Dembele, Rodri, Olise, Barcola, Pedro Porro, Yamal, and Luka Dean. There were a lot of interesting fight within the game, and we're going to try to analyze all of them one by one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2026 FIFA World Cup semi-final match review. Welcome back to another video. Welcome to the world of soccer. If you're not already subscribed, do me a favor. Subscribe, like, and share this with your friend. Without wasting any time, we're going to start with the game because the game was interesting to watch. As a French fan, I cannot even complain because Spain beat France fair and square. They outperformed them in every aspect of the game. They dominate the game from head to toe. There are interesting statistics we will be talking about later in the video. But let's just take this squad of France. If you take this player man to man, individually they are better than this Spanish squad because Spain have some player there. Pedro Porro is playing for Tottenham, right? Alex Baena is a bench warmer at Atletico Madrid. Orzabal is a player for Real Sociedad. Yamal is for Barcelona. Ruiz from PSG, of course we know that, and Olmo is almost a bench warmer slash starter at Barcelona. And you have Rodri. It should get even crazier if you look at their defense. Cucurella, arguably the best left back in the world at the moment, but Laporta, he didn't play a lot of game with Atletico Bilbao last year. He was injured most of the time. Kobarsi, that dude was getting red card for fun for Barcelona last year, right? And of course, Unai Simon is not even the best goalie that Spain have. Because for me, I think David Raya is mile ahead of him, but he's the one who's starting. And compare that squad to the French squad. Mike Maignan from AC Milan. Just take the team where they play and what kind of player they are. William Saliba, even he get injured earlier in the game, that dude seemed to be injured in every final, bro. Like, why? How can you be injured in a final? But he played for Arsenal. Upamecano from Bayern, Koundé for Barcelona, Luka Dean for PSG now because he got transferred to PSG from Aston Villa, Rabiot for Milan, Tchouaméni for Real Madrid, Michael Olise for Bayern, Dembélé the Ballon d'Or winner from PSG, Bradley Barcola from PSG, back-to-back Champions League winner, and Kylian Mbappé, Mr. World Cup. So if you take one-to-one, they are clearly ahead of them. But collectively, they are miles or years ahead of France. That's not even a joking. Because like I told you in the intro, France, this is the third time they've been getting eliminated by Spain. So every time France want to go further, if Spain doesn't exist, France will be already a Euro champion, another National League, and probably winning this World Cup. Because for me, whoever qualified this year is the favorite. That brings us back to what Lamine Yamal said a couple days ago. They are not scared of France. If there's a team that can beat France, it's them because they did it twice. That's what he said. Now you can say 3 times. You're free to say it, Yamal. And today they defeat, if you look or listen to the French press or the French fan or even the football fan, nobody is contesting it. You cannot contest a team that is better than you. This Spain team is a team that put Pedri on the bench because the coach didn't like the way he played. He said he played like a Barcelona. We don't play like that here. And he chose Fabian Ruiz ahead of Pedri. People be comparing Pedri to Bellingham. That's another discussion. Hopefully they play in the final. We see what's gonna happen, right? And you have the best assist provider that played for France, like in Michael Olise. And today he didn't see shit because Rodri closed him down, like put him in the pocket. Like that dude couldn't see anything. Which what Tchouaméni failed to do against the Olmo. That's supposed to be the same thing. I was surprised that Tchouaméni started today because the dude is coming back from injury. Manu Kone was doing fantastic. And in the second half, taking out Rabiot was kind of bullshit. He was the only midfielder in the first half that is fighting that it was getting the ball. I know some people say, "Whoa, who was on yellow card," but he was the only one fighting. Desan had to make a better decision in that substitute. I know Saliba got out from injury. Maxen Lacroix from Crystal Palace came in for him. Didn't change much because he was already 2-0 when he came in, right? It was 1-0 because the first goal come from a penalty. Like I said, it's stupid. Lucas didn't have no business doing that in a semi-final, especially you're in your 18-yard. You can do that. You play for the Premier League. You played in the Premier League. You know how the intensity is. You play in a, well, he did play in the Champions League. Last year they were in the Europa League, but he know the intensity. You know, when you take the ball down, there will be a player on you. I think the French player didn't have a big test. They thought, okay, you're gonna be just like Paraguay or like Senegal, where you can control, turn, like dance around and pass the ball. Spain didn't give them that time. Spain started the game from minute 1 to minute 90. They were pressing everywhere, every single places. Like France was doing the same pressing because if you look at the stat, like people would think Spain was dominating the game. For me, when I was watching the game, I thought like France wasn't seeing the ball. But when I checked the fact, it wasn't the case because like if you look at the position, it's a 51% to 49. So it was very close game in terms of the position. And even the pass accuracy, France had like 87% and Spain had 86. So France was even more accurate than the Spanish in their passes, right? And if you look at the pass, I think Spain had 487 and France had 408. So like it's not like a big deal dominance in terms of football, but visually when you were watching it, it was like, yo, Spain gonna kill us, bro. Right? Because that goal, when they conceded the first goal, it just dismantle all the project that France had because if France scored first, Spain were supposed to be out there. Kobashi would be more exposed. Even they tried to do it, but Simon was there to intercept those balls. France had it twice. The first one was Mbappé versus Simon won, and the second one was Doué versus Simon, and Simon won again. So they tried to create those spaces for them, but if the defender like Kobashi and Laporte was up, and Simon was there to close the gap every time. Spain really worked this team to the teeth because France, like for the first time, they played like they felt powerless. Even Kylian Mbappe after the game, the interview when you listen to the French player talk, like they were powerless in the pitch because they couldn't do much what was going on. That's what I'm saying. They got beaten by a team that was better than them on the day. They were lower below their standard. And Spain was higher than normally they provide since now. And I think for me, I think it's the quality of the passes, the way France move the ball or the way Spain move it. Because when Rodri take the ball or Ruiz, when they take and they turn, when they play forward, Daniel Olmo is not like a player that score a lot of goal or do a lot of assists. The dude like in the last 3 or 4 games, according to I think ESPN, one of the ESPN pundit, Julian Rollins, he said the dude have one shot on target in the last 3 games. So he's not a stat guy. He's the guy that is there. He just came to the midfield, like increase the number there and then just overrun the other midfielder. As Mbappe said after the game, every time they beat their press, there was like 3 against 2 in the midfield. I said, well, why like Chouameni don't get there? Because Chouameni is supposed to be that third guy to help them, right? And they couldn't do it. I said Michael Olise instead of Chouameni. So overall, as a French fan, I'm not even angry because the way I watched the game, Didier Deschamps played it with 4-2 for 2 years now. So he cannot just come here in this game and change. A lot of people were saying, well, in the second half, you could have taken maybe Barcola out and bring in like a Kone and then to put it like 3v3 in the midfield. But the automatism wasn't there. Like, I don't think the team played like that for more than 2 years. They didn't play like that. You cannot just switch. Like I said, the position wasn't that bad. It's just like French position was on their half. It's not like they weren't creating chances with it. But in Spain, even Spain didn't have a lot of chances. They had only 2 shots on target. It was the 2 goal, right? It's 10 shots for Spain, 2 on target. That was the 2 goal. And France had 14 and 4 on target. But they weren't dangerous, right? So overall, if you look statistically, you wish the game was like close. But if you were watching it visually, Spain was like power, like it was like they playing against a team where they were able to control every aspect of the game, every movement of the French striker. Like Mbappe couldn't do much. Olise was like a ghost. He was substituted out, and the French substitute that came in, they didn't do anything either. Due was like a ghost when he came on. He didn't change anything. Manikone was all right, coming on for Rabiot. He was all right. And Sharky was like a ghost too. He didn't do shit. Like they came in, there were no space to do anything. And this was one of the decent last game because you're gonna play the third place. I know you're gonna be against Argentina because I'm counting on the British or the English to beat England, to beat Argentina. Because I think England, if they win, they will have a better chance beating this Spanish team than the Argentinian. Because like France today lacked of aggressivity. Even the Belgian had a better game against Spain than the French, even though Spain really dominated that game. But like France was having the ball moving left to right, but they weren't creating anything. They didn't have any space. Cucurella was eating Dembele. Pedro Porro was eating Due or like Barcola. Whoever came in, he was eating them alive. And Rodri dominated that midfield. Rodri is playing like the year he won the Ballon d'Or. It was 2024, right? That dude is a beast in the midfield. He's a beast. The French midfield couldn't do anything. It was always 4v2 or like 3v. I play soccer sometimes. It's not in this high level, but I know how the midfield can be crowded sometimes if they outnumber you there. You will feel like you're in a jungle because you don't see the ball. You just see like a light coming. Why? That's what the French midfield they were saying. And Lucas Digne mistake wasn't like, yo, bro, like, why would you do that? I was angry, but I said, yeah, it's a mistake. And of course, you have the second goal coming in from Pedro Porro. Yeah, he's a good goal. Like Spain even scored a third goal. He was disallowed because of offside. So like overall, Spain dominated the game, even though Lamine Yamal didn't have a crazy game. Like Spain, like individually, you can pick a player, it will be Rodri, but the rest are were like all right. They were just doing what they have to do. This is a Spanish team. That's how they play whenever they go. Like what was missing for them was a Yamal or like Nico Williams because Spain always played like this. But they always lost to the team like Morocco or team like that because since 2012, no, since 2010, 2014, they got roasted. 18, they got cooked. But each time is on penalty. It's not like you come here, you beat. Spain will play against you, they get 1,000 passes on you, and then you still beat them, right? But now they have today they got lucky with the penalty because that was a free goal. Up to the penalty, Spain wasn't creating any chances. The game was like very fair when you're watching it. And Michael Olise got really lucky because he could have gotten a red card. I didn't like the comment that Desan did at the end of the game. So the referee, I understand him during the game, like Yamal could have gotten yellow card, the tackle he did on Mbappe. But hey, Olise could have gotten red card too, and we would have been talking shit here, right? But for me, like, I'm not even angry. It's just the best team beat us, and I hope when Zinedine Zidane take over, he's gonna do something different. We will see. We'll see what Zidane gonna do. Overall, let me know below what you think about the analysis, and of course, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this with your friend. And yeah, we will be there tomorrow for Argentina, England. Today is just sad day for me. I don't really hate the Spanish or like I'm just neutral to Spain. Like I like their football, but it's not a country that I support, right? So just I want England to win it and Hurricane to win the Ballon d'Or because for sure if England win it, Hurricane will be the Ballon d'Or. So let me know below what you think about that.